Play spot. So hi, I'm Kamurai. I am behind a day now, and I don't have that much to talk about. I've got a little bit of things, and then I got to try to remember to talk about other stuff. Past that, let's get on to games and stuff that I've been doing and whatnot. Been play testing this silly little game called I've been calling Earth, Fire, Water, Wind. I'm sure I'll have another name for it. The name I want is actually I don't know if it's licensed per se, but it's from Chrono Trigger. It's water pushes wind, wind makes fire dance, or something like that. It's probably like my favorite quote of the whole thing because it's just it's super poetic, it's super simple, super short, it's very elementalist, which is kind of funny, or not funny, but like it's fitting to that whole game. So like I was trying to playtest that, 4 players on my own. It was really hard because it's actually such a fast-paced game that it's hard to switch strategies, and the whole time you're trying to remember what direction's what. And, I either need to take playing cards or index cards and just make prototype cards instead of using playing cards. It's just getting too confusing. But if I do that, then I can actually get the proportions the way I want them. So I should probably go ahead and do that. And then we jumped into Ascension because nobody was picking a game, so I just pulled Ascension on my car. I'm like, let's play this. And then we had someone new walk in, which was nice. So we got to teach her how to play Ascension. I didn't realize how quickly somebody might come to Gainesville Tabletop after moving to Gainesville. Mostly because she was like, I should go home and unpack some. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a thing. So we played a really nice game of Ascension. We're plagued by exploding swarms, and I made a mistake of actually having 30 less honor because I dealt somebody in at the last second. So between that, we actually had a really short game of Ascension. With the learning aspects, it probably got dragged out to a little bit less than a normal game, but jeez, kitties. So that was a good time though. I do enjoy Ascension. We don't play it very often, so when we do play it, I tend to enjoy it. I apologize. I really meant to look this game up. I think it's Nakui. I was calling it Nookie all night. So maybe it's Nakito. It's supposed to be like an Inuit game. It's supposed to be about hunting, foraging before like winter comes and freezes you in. So you're out hunting deer and fish and seals and birds and trying to avoid polar bears. Naku? Koi? Nokia? I'm actually disappointed this isn't showing up. I'm disappointed in myself. So hard. Okay, so it looks like Nookie. It's about Eskimo hunting stuff. It's a white box, blue lettering. You see it, you'll know it. I feel stupid. I'll try to put the name in the description. So that was interesting to learn. One of the ladies in our gaming group brought it back from MegaCon or whatever it was last week, and so that was definitely something new and interesting. I was really excited for it. I got a lot less excited for it by the time we were done. But I'm glad I played it. I was like, okay, now I know what that is. I can definitely recommend it to people who might like that game. I ended up winning, but I won because I got screwed into a hunt and actually succeeded when everyone, including me, thought I was going to fail. So, like, I just sat on this big stack of cards and then try to balance it out from there. And the whole time, everyone was trying to recreate that scenario, but I don't know. Let's see. So we had like 5 people, 6 people, and I think there's 2 tokens left, so I could see probably 8. So it's good, big group game. Everyone's kind of involved every turn. It's so you don't. There's a lot less waiting for your turn. You do go around a couple times, and when you break into a hunting party in the Doom Party, because whoever is naysaying the hunt, whether or not, because it's kind of a betting game. You're betting whether or not you think the hunt's going to succeed, and then the naysayers, the Doom Party, if you fail the hunt, get your goodies. They come up and clean up your corpse and all the stuff you hunted. So there's that. So I really wish I could remember what the name of the game is, but let's try to keep on focus here. And then we ended up playing Catan. I've been bugging this couple to play Catan for a while because I knew that they would like it. It's not too often you see it this way around. Usually guys are stereotypically more aggressive in games. They're much more apt to like go towards things where like they challenge or fuck each other over. They're neat where he's much more constructive when it comes to games, but he can definitely do a little bit of dickery as well. And she's much more competitive and whatnot. So it's a neat aspect when you see that switch. So she ended up getting Catan for her birthday. I think mostly because I was bitching about it for a while. So we finally got a game in that, and they actually bought the 5-6 player expansion so we could play with everyone who was available. And I won that game. Technically, I think we ran out of time, so I had the most points when we stopped playing. I don't know if I would have kept the lead, and the only reason I wasn't winning by the time we ended was because they stole longest road from me. And that's all she was doing. She was just stealing longest road from me. That person didn't do anything else. And it was because I was sprawling like I normally do instead of going for the development cards that everyone else was going for, which is nice. And it helps you get the night thingy. But I forgot Harbor Master wasn't a thing. Otherwise, I definitely would have won. But I would have had to keep shooting for longest road. I think I probably would have got it eventually. But like, the sad part about it is I think I'm the one who enjoys that the least because I don't like the base version of Catan anymore. Like, I like my spoiled fat expansion version that has like gold and fish in it. Because I like the idea of being able to outbuild other people and not necessarily like do the thing where you're trying to screw people out of resources. I'm just not that big a fan of that starving resource element. Like when I played the very first time I ever played Catan, even back when like I did like it once upon a time, you never made 1-to-1 trades. You never did it. You made 2-to-1 trades and you punish people into 3-to-1 trades because the way the game is designed, you always have a 4-to-1 trade. You have a 3-to-1 trade for a harbor. So if you have the opportunity, you make somebody else into a harbor. Or you make yourself into a harbor. And then if you're feeling nicer or it's a more beneficial trade, you do 2-to-1s. And then with players, you can actually do like 1 brick, 1 sheep or things like that. Where like if you're trading with actual harbors, then you've got to do it where it's to the like kinds. This is bothering me now. I want to know what that game is. So, like, Catan's got a lot of different features. Like, you get City of the Nights, I think, is pretty much required. It doesn't save it as much as I thought it did. I don't know why I thought it did that much, but it definitely helps a lot. And then Seafarers is fun. I like Seafarers. And if you like Seafarers, the Pirates and Barbarians, I think that's what it's called, that expansion is actually really good for Seafarers. It's more discovery missions and such. I like just being able to do like a big hodgepodge map. where you can have lakes and stuff in the middle, or just big inlets. I think it was one of the funnest, most fun games I played. Was like there's one side that was an island, then there was like a little bridge, and then there was water north, and there's a bunch of water south, and there was like one little strip of land on the other side. So it forced us to actually use boats to interconnect the land, and I really, really liked that. So, like, there are some really good things when you start mixing it up. So, like, I definitely want to run a big, silly game of Catan at some point. But I want my spoiled expansion version back. And then overloading the resources in the beginning, I think, is very helpful. It cuts out some of the initial, I can't do anything, I'm waiting, where, and it gets a jump on things, so it helps the game actually finish faster. So that's that. We ended up closing out on that game. Saturday, I made the mistake of trying to stream Katawa Shoujo. Not like any penalty. Fair warning, if you go look that up, it is an adult Japanese adult dating sim visual story novel interactive thing. The problem is that unlike things like Honey Pop or any of the other eroji dating sim things out there, this is actually novel. It takes a long time to get through this bitch. And I've never played in one that was actually like a novel before. They've always been interactive short stories, if you will. So going through this one was definitely a thing, but it has some truly interesting story in it. It's all about being a guy at this school for disabled kids, teenagers, whatever, high schoolers. Your character's got like a heart arrhythmia, so he could drop dead any second. Just takes a proper hit to the chest, or his blood pressure getting out of control. And then there's like 5 girls you end up being around. One has no legs, one has no arms, one is deaf and mute. So she's a little interpreter friend that follows her around. That's the story I was pursuing. There's a girl with the burns who's actually the one I was really interested to see where that story goes. And then there's a blind chick that's like a super Amazon. So that's funny. But I'm super interested to go back and do the other runs. Like I didn't get through on the live stream. I only got like halfway through the shortest storyline, which is insane. And then I went back. I let it run so like I could get through it faster when I went back. And so I did that, and I did the thing where like I nailed my girlfriend's best friend, and then I went back and did the good ending where what happened? I don't even remember what happened. I just know that we were a lot happier by the end of the story, all 3 of us. The other one is like everything just kind of falls apart slowly, and I leave her sitting on a step. It was like, fuck, I need some kind of redeeming quality out of this story. So I can't believe I don't remember what that was. So Katawa Shoujo, if you like Japanese interactive novel story things, that's definitely a really good one. It was apparently made by 4chan, but there's some really good writers in there. So don't say their name, but that's just fair warning. Sunday was all Super Dungeon Explore, because we had planned to go in there and play some of the original, especially since Forgotten King was coming out the following week. So we went in there and we had planned on playing like a little 2-player game, and then someone else showed up and was like, oh no, Jessica's just kind of there. So she's like, I'll play. I haven't played it before. She actually ended up liking it, like unlike a lot of people there. And then did somebody else show up or no? No, so we played 3 players for the first one, and they got really close to beating me there, or beating the console. So they got a couple wounds in on Starfire before something happened. Like they took too big a chance going for the last spawn point is what it was. And they even ended up with a resurrection charm, and they brought somebody back, and then somebody else died because they were out of position. It's just what happens when I have all my monsters on the map. It's just what happens. Dude Morgan showed up. I met him on International Tabletop Day. So thank goodness for that. But it turns out he was part of the Kickstarter for Forgotten King, and he brought in his copy. So we got to leaf through that, and I got to see the new tiles. There's no loot meter. So there's a whole new system of loot to learn, how to get stuff. So I was trying to let him run it and just kind of like relax a little bit with the game, which turns out to be quite a bit more boring than I realized, because I don't get to play the heroes very often. And if I do, I'm usually involved somewhere in stuff. So I'm super excited to grab copies of it. And yeah, I'm still excited about it. There's aspects I really don't like about it, and there's aspects I do like. The focus has shifted quite a lot, because it used to be kill the spawn points, beat the boss before all the monsters overwhelm you. Now it's like, oh, you better clear every single friggin' monster, and you better team up and beat these guys. It's actually, it reminds me a lot more of Blood Bowl as well. It reminds me of Ninja All-Stars, their newer game, because there's distinct advantages in teaming up and essentially bullying other characters on the board. So, like, his mini bosses were what wrecked us. So if we can clump our heroes up on the mini bosses and concentrate fire, that's probably the way to go. And he can only bring back or spawn mini bosses for every time we kill a spawn point, I think. And I think that was the other problem, is we jumped the gun, we killed another spawn point because we didn't want him to keep spawning monsters. So what can happen now is when he spawns monsters, he loses a health on his spawn points, the console does. So you can actually kill the spawn points by making them spawn out. So if you just sit there and wreck monsters enough, it'll be fine. And eventually you'll get enough loot, because you gain loot pretty quick. But the loot doesn't... Well, you can't sacrifice loot for hearts anymore. Only treasure. And you have to get a chest open. Yep, and mini bosses don't give you treasure anymore. They give you keys to unlock the treasure, so you can get both treasures out of the chest. 'Cause now treasures naturally give you two, unless you resort to smashing the chest and then one breaks. But and so you only draw one. Yeah, I'll give you guys more when I get around to actually reading through Forgotten King properly. I'll probably do a couple playthroughs on the new tiles and everything, because there are some very interesting feats there. I'm not excited about arcade mode. I'd much rather just play both sides of it if I'm going to play by myself. But that ended up being most of the day. We ran out of time before we got around to playing anything else. I felt bad because there's a couple other people sitting around playing games or trying to play games or waiting for other people to be available. And I was like, oh, man, I'm sorry. We're just caught up on this. And then I got back to the board. I was like, I'm not sorry. Because it's my favorite game. Classic's my favorite game. It's yet to see if Forgotten King is that into it, and it's got me my juices going to try to go back to do the little story version, because I think that would be really fun. All right, so but after that, we did manage to squeeze in a bit of Small World later on that night, so that was fun to teach people Small World, and I really like that game, so I'm glad I got to spread to somebody else. Poison. So that's basically it. I think I'm going to try to get some Minecraft in tonight, and then go to bed, because I'm freaking tired, and it's already, like, late enough. I can't find that stupid hunting game. So, oh well. That's what it is. It happens occasionally. But take care, and you'll see me next time. Bye.